So in this video, we're going to continue on from where we left off in the last video. Make sure you save your drawing. You save often because Civil 3D sometimes will crash on you. So you can do save as and go ahead and save it as a project name. I'm giving mine a little bit different naming convention because I'm using this with the instructional video. So mine's called Project Into Video 1. Now, what I want to show you is we talked about this, the dashed I wanted to change the line styles for the contours because the contours actually are supposed to be dashed, and I can't tell that until I scroll really in close. Now, what I want to explain is dashed is what we want because these are going to be existing contours, and existing contours in our construction plans are actually dashed lines, and our proposed lines are continuous lines. Now, if I click over to the site plan, we can see that the dashed lines show up really well, but those dashed lines are a little bit too far and too far apart and too long. So I'm going to change the LTS scale. So I'm going to go LTS, and I'm going to change it to 0.5. So that actually looks a little bit better, but I could maybe even change to a 0.25 to get them a little bit tighter together when I start labeling these. So I like the LTS scale of 0.25. We have to be really careful about our LTS scales and our PLTS scales because of just when we start to draw, when we use different line types, it'll be affected by the LTS scale. Now notice our project fits perfectly inside here, and what I've done is I've created viewports, and if you take a look at this, the blue line now that I've highlighted, this is actually a viewport that I've created for our project. Now inside the viewport, I have information on is it locked or not locked? Display lock. That means when I double click on the inside of this, the display lock isn't locked. That means when I zoom in and out, I've screwed up my scale. So it's not a 1 to 50. So I would have to come back here and go 1 to 50 and then pan, I typed in the word pan, and get it organized. Oops. And try that again. Go to 1 to 50. Not 1 to 60, 1 to 50. And I'm going to pan up. Now, I'm using, if you all take a look at your paper space, so I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to exit out of the pan command, and I'm going to click on the paper space. When I click this, so I don't screw up my lock, I'm going to say display lock over here, yes. Now when I click on the inside of it, notice that it doesn't zoom to extents. Have y'all taken a look at the layout view? The layout of our title block is, I'm going to go ahead and dimension this just to show you. Underneath annotate, linear, if I dimension this, it is 16.5 inches. So this is an 11 by 17 sheet of paper. What I've done is I've actually set up the page setup manager for each one of these. So click on a tab, right click, and do page setup manager. And you can see that in the site plan, if I modify it, you'll see that I've already set it up to do a PDF report writer. You'll want to change that to FDOT type PDF, and you will change it to a VC 11 by 17 standard scale. And you'll just preview. You'll have to do this for each one of your drawings to get it to plot out and look nice. Okay? And then I'm going to say OK and close. So you'll do it for the paving, grading, and drainage. So you'll do Page Setup Manager, Modify, and you'll adjust it here. Now, when you go to print, you have to print in class unless you take the FDOT file and the pin setting file with you. So Page Setup Manager, so Modify, come down here and go FDOT, PDF, PC3. You will not have this unless you're at school and you take this information home. So when you're at school, you'll be able to see this FDOT, PDF, PC3, and you'll see the VC when you pull it down. The reason is these two things will actually make your prints, when you're done with this class, will make your prints look nice. If you want, I can send you the PDF, FDOT PDF information and the VC information and how to access that from home. All right, so we'll go ahead and do a preview and make sure that it looks nice. Escape, okay, and close. So you'll need to do that with all of these project sheets. All right, now, so the next thing that I want to do is I want to create contour labels. So I'm going to come up to my Annotate tab and I'm going to pull down Add Labels, pull it down to Surface, Contour, Multiply at Intervals. And it says pick a first point. Now I'm going to turn my snaps off and I'm going to pick this point and I'm going to turn my ortho off also. And I'm going to come up and I'm going to pick this point here. Every 300 feet. And then I am going to do it again so I can get the rest of these. So I'm going to click enter just so that I have that. And I'm going to pick a point here and I'm going to pick it to here every 300 feet. And I'll have that here. Now, what I'm going to do is I may end up changing this so I can shift it. Here's my line. And if you don't like where you've located it, you can always move it like this. Okay? Where your elevations are being shown. But when you do that, you'll have to create another one through a section through here. Now you can also change it to maybe 200 feet. Maybe that would have looked a little bit better. So I'm going to undo and I'm going to do 200 feet. Now you have to be careful with undo when you're in Civil 3D. Sometimes it doesn't react as you want it to. Now you just can't delete that line because then you'd have to delete each individual contour. So I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to pull it down, Surface. I'm going to come through here. Actually, I'm going to come differently. I'm going to come all the way over to here. And I'm going to do it at 150 feet. That looks better. Now, if your project crashed when you were doing this, restart from the saved point at the beginning of the video. Or you might have to bring in your points again. Like I said, don't be surprised if some of the things crash. Surface. I'm going to do, oops, I'm going to do it again. Surface, contour it multiple, and I'm going to bring it through here. And I'm going to do it every 150 feet. Now, I don't like these lines showing up, so I'm going to click on the lines, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to say false on the display contour label line and hit enter. Now notice that my contour elevations, my 80 and my 79, are two different sizes. I'm going to go to the paving, grading, and drainage sheet and I'm going to take a look at which looks better, which size looks better. At this point in time, I think that we need to increase the size. So if I wanted to increase the size of this text, this is what I would do. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the model space because usually it works better through model. I'm going to click on the text and notice that when I do that, you get this information here. This, the 80, is a major label, existing major labels. Now you can edit, you can create and edit, and then it says existing major labels. I'm going to click this little blue box. That automatically accesses the major labels. So I'm going to take a look at the layout size, and it's 0.075, and the dragged size is also 0.075. So what I want to do on cancel, on the existing minor labels, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to edit, create and edit. I'm going to click on the blue box here to edit that, and notice that this at the layout is 0.05. So I'm going to change that to 0.075, and the dragged state is going to be 0.075 also. Typically, we don't have a dragged state on our contour labels, but I'm going to go ahead and change it anyway. Apply and OK. And OK. Automatically changes in size. This is where the settings come in. I could have done all that work through the settings tab, through the surface, the label styles, the contours through here, but I have to know where everything is at. Sometimes it's easier for me to click on the object that I want to manipulate and right click to do the modifications there through my properties. That's why I keep my properties box open most of the time. Okay, I'm going to shift that. Now, I'm going to take a look at my paving, grading, and drainage sheet. Zoom out. Make sure make sure that the display is locked and it's at a scale of a 50. Now, that's how we create our contour data for our project. The next thing I want to look at is making a parcel from our data. That's it for this video.